Hello fellow bookish people, welcome back to my channel. Today I'm trying something new. It is the new year and I wanted to really push myself to explore different avenues of content that I would like to create. So today you're going to see a little cozy video essay that I wrote about how reading helps you as a writer. So let's just get right into that video. Most people think that writing gets better the more you write. And that is true, but it's only part of the story. Because some of the most important work a writer can do doesn't look like writing at all. It looks like reading. Reading widely, reading slowly, reading diversely, reading deeply, just paying attention not just to what the story says, but how it says it. In this video, I want to talk about how reading helps writing. Not just in a motivational way, but in a quiet, practical, and deeply personal one. When you read as a writer, you are always apprenticing yourself to the page. Every book becomes a kind of classroom. You're watching another mind at work, seeing how they build the tension, how they choose their words, how they transition scenes, build worlds, create empathy for their characters. Even when you aren't consciously analyzing it, your brain is absorbing that rhythm, structure, and voice. You learn how their chapters end and how their dialogue flows, how descriptions can come to life to create a world in your head, or you learn how their descriptions can fall flat. And over time, that exposure becomes instinct. You don't just know how stories work, you feel it. When you're a writer, you have a passion for words. You adore the way the words link together and create something more. And when you adore words that way, everything you consume becomes a part of you. Whether you're reading literature you love or literature you hate, you pick up on things that will apply to your writing. If you're reading a beautifully piece of written prose, it will raise your internal standards for your own work. And if you're reading a work that is not to your taste, you can apply the opposite to your work. You start to see more as you're writing, noticing how your sentence lengths, word choice, and your cadence differs from what you read. You see how some writers utilize simplicity to create power, while others lean into the lyricism and excess. You begin to understand what kind of writer you want to be. And reading gives you permission to experiment, to borrow, blend, and eventually transform those influences into something uniquely your own. No voice is created in isolation. Every voice is shaped by the books that came before it. Reading also teaches you how to solve your narrative problems. If you're stuck in your own writing, like maybe a scene isn't working or the middle of it feels flat, chances are another writer has already solved a similar problem in the books that you have read. Maybe they used a shift in perspective, or they slowed the pace instead of speeding it up. Maybe they let a moment breathe instead of forcing the action. Reading gives you a mental library of solutions. Not templates, but all the possibilities that are out there. And when you recognize those patterns, you become a more confident, intentional writer. One of the most subtle ways reading helps writing is by deepening your understanding of people. Books let you inhabit lives you've never lived. They show you how different minds move through the world. When you read, you practice empathy. You learn how emotions unfold slowly, contradict themselves, and linger beneath the surface. That kind of emotional literacy is invaluable for writing your characters who feel real, characters with interior lives, complexities, and truths to them. Good writing isn't just about what happens, it's about how it feels to be there. And then, of course, writing is an act of output and reading is an act of intake. If you are constantly trying to create without replenishing yourself, burnout is inevitable. Reading refills the creative well. It reminds you why stories matter, and it reconnects you to wonder, curiosity, and the joy of being moved by words. Sometimes when you read, it won't immediately make you want to write, and that is okay. Sometimes it makes you want to sit quietly and feel, and that too is part of the work. Reading like a writer doesn't mean overanalyzing every sentence. It means noticing what stays with you. Which scenes linger, which lines make you pause, which books make you want to write afterwards, and which ones don't. Pay attention to your emotional responses. They're teaching you something. You don't need to dissect every book, you just need to read with awareness. But over time, it will shape you quietly and deeply. Every book you love leaves a fingerprint in your work. Every story you read expands what you believe is possible. So if you're struggling to write, maybe the answer isn't to push yourself harder. Maybe it's to pick up a book and listen. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like I said, this is pretty new to me, so let me know in the comments anything that you think would help this type of video if I do want to do it in the future. It is a bit strange for me to be trying something new. It's always strange to try something new, but I had fun with this. I hope you guys enjoyed. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more bookish content. And let me know if you have any other ideas you would like me to make a little video essay about. Thank you guys so much for watching. Until next time, happy reading!